because we have something else to talk about right now. Sex worker Lily Phillips. I'm not sure if y'all have been hanging around the Twitter spaces, the YouTube spaces, but there's been a lot of buzz about this debate about should we be held accountable for what sex worker Lily Phillips did in a video where she apparently is crying after performing a pornographic video where she has sex with 100 men. Yes, 100 men. So they want us to be accountable for that because they say that since the man is the consumer and men are supposedly supposed to be leaders, we're supposed to go in there as a mob and tell her, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be taking your clothes off for 100 men and giving out sex for free. No, how dare you? How dare you do this? Stoned. No, no, that's not how it worked. You know what I'm saying? Lily Phillips, she literally, it was her idea. And she's even taken it so far now that she said that she's going to make another video where she tries to bang 1,000 men. And I'm, as a spectator and a consumer of news, just asking myself and in the comments, like, how is this physically possible to do this? Because there's only so many hours a day. There's only so much you can do in a day. But to have sex with 100 men, how do you not have the shame? How do you get up in the morning and go to sleep at night knowing that you put yourself in front of millions of people and degraded yourself, but somehow it's men's fault? Somehow it's my fault. Somehow it's the male viewers that are watching this video right now. It's your fault. It's your fault that Lily Phillips got the idea, promoted it, marketed, and executed the idea to have sex with 100 men for clout. And this is not even a right-wing or left-wing media narrative. This is on both sides. And I'm telling you that it's on both sides because Candace Owens even came out on video and said that you as a man are perverted if you got invited and showed up to have sex among 99 other men with Lily Phillips. You are a pervert. You should be held accountable. And then on the left, like, we already know how crazy like the left is with this kind of thing. They're saying that men are perverts, obviously, and the guys that are watching, consuming, or even participated in this should be jailed. Like, they should be held accountable. But yet, Lily Phillips is the one that, again, she came up with the idea, and even going to as far as saying that she's willing to do it with 1,000 men now. She directed it. She produced it. She's on all the credits. She put her back literally into this content, but somehow it is men's fault. It's men's fault. Hey, what's up, Traran? Hey, man, shout out to you. Thanks for coming over, man. But yeah, it's your fault as a man for consuming this. And I'm just more perplexed with the conservative media. You know, the conservative media that's all about like traditional values and like maintaining the status quo, make America great again. But we're running away from the fact that this is not that 70s show. This is not 300 BC. This is not times where the woman stayed home and the men went out to hunt and provide for the family. No, women have a voice now. But women have not had a voice for so long, I guess, right? Because women only had the right to vote in, the 60s or something like that, right? They got the right to vote in the 60s. So think about that. They really had their full rights for, like, let's just say less than 100 years. So they're used to men being the more accountable for it. Because even back then, when a woman did something wrong in the village, the man would have to be responsible for her. Because more times than not, back then, a woman would be under a man. So maybe women and society as a whole just hasn't gotten used to, or maybe they're purposely, like misleading the people into thinking that women hold no agency, thereby holding no responsibility. And when I say agency, I mean that as a collective, like representing the individual. Like, women don't have their own standards, like their own way of thinking, and in that way of thinking, you have to be accountable for certain things you say and do and even think that you put on paper. Like society wants us to believe that women don't have this when they do. Women have fought for all these rights. They voted in the policies that, that take away a man's responsibility and obligation to protect them, to provide for them in a single family household. They've taken away all those rights through voting, like socio-political campaigns on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all that stuff. They taken away all those, barriers that men have had for years in protecting women. But now somehow, when you still take these rights away from men, it's still man's fault for what women get themselves into. And that's why the left-wing media got voted out of politics, because people have just gotten tired of that. Even women. And like, let's not even forget, in that election, it was white women that showed up in that election. I know people like to attack and blame the black man for all this, and that's all fine and dandy. I mean, black men at this point are just used to being blamed for everything. You know what I'm saying? But if you actually look at the numbers, white women and Latinos showed up, meaning that even women are tired of the woke nonsense, because more times than not, most women would love the idea to be under a good man. Whether they think he's a simp or not, he's still a good man that's going to provide for her and all her needs and allow her to, navigate in her identity in this current society where she also has a voice, but still be able to live under a man financially, get his resources financially, emotionally, like socio-politically, stand by him, whatever the case, while still having a voice. But like, that's the state of society that we're in right now. Women like Lily Phillips can go degrade herself, even though she's the one that produces it, she directed it, she executed it, literally executed it. She had sex with 100 men. And yet it's somehow men's fault. And you have these feminists on both sides, whether it be Democrat or Republican, telling men as a whole that it is your responsibility. It should be your responsibility, and it is your responsibility because they say so. Because they say so, even though they voted out all shields and walls that allowed a man to be over a woman. Even in the workplace, like, women, in certain industries make just as much, if not more, than men. Women now own more real estate than men do, as far as like individual, like buying of houses and all that. I'm not sure about land and all that, but as far as real estate, women are killing that. As far as like these private industry jobs, women are killing that. You know what I'm saying? As far as like being able to make more income, women are killing that. Not only in certain industry, but sales, because women, they have their qualities and all that. They're able to sell themselves more. So they've been able to do more than what they've been able to do in recent centuries, right? But when it all comes to dealing with the backlash of having these freedoms, it's somehow still man's fault, even though the man is just the consumer. So this just goes back to the analogy that, if you're, okay, so like, say you're a weed smoker, right? And you in a collective group of friends all smoke weed, and you buy from a drug dealer, or a plug, as we call it, right? Who's more responsible, the plug or the consumer of these drugs? You really can't say, right? Because both of them are equally responsible. You're buying it, and they're the ones selling it. So it's the same thing as sex workers. Like, they're the ones selling the content, men are buying it. So who's more at fault for the backlash that women have to go through being in these kind of industries? Yeah, it'll be both parties, but women still have agency and accountability. And that's what the media is trying to deceive us into not believing. They want us to believe that no matter what, like, additional rights, like equities that women have achieved over the years, they do not have to deal with the socio-political and economic consequences, because it can still be on the fault of men, because for centuries men have been looked to as leaders. But they don't want to take into account that these same women and these same platforms that promote these industries have taken away the rights of men through voting, through socio political bullying, and that's through the names called incels, and like dating experts talking about how like most men are undesirable nowadays, and just all kind of things that they want us to run away from, and we're not going to run away from that. I'm not going to run away from that. Lily Phillips is responsible for herself. I'm sure something's probably wrong with her, for her to want to, take that many, poundings from 100 men. So there's something clearly wrong with her, and we're not going to go into that. We just hope she like gets God in her life somehow, some way. But I was watching this podcast by H. Pearl Davis, and she brought up a really good point. Now, I don't agree with a lot of things that side talks about. Well, some things, because I do agree with half, because I'm pretty conservative in myself. But she brought up a good point, stating that if she is the one that's going to direct and produce it, how come she can't take the backlash? Like when a director makes a movie that becomes iconic but still controversial, that director of that movie is still taking all that backlash. So how come a producer of a pornographic film can't have the same, can't have the same energy? Like, it's just so weird. And now we're seeing it on both sides now. And I don't know why someone like Candace Owens would entertain something like that. Being on a conservative podcast and knowing the things that she has said about these same women in the past, now somehow she's reneging on these said things by saying that men are perverts and predators for participating and buying into this, when we didn't tell Lily Phillips to create a pornographic film where she's getting gangbanged by 100 men. We didn't tell her to do that. And I'm going to break this down more into a video, man, because, man, I'm just so perplexed at why men have to be on the forefront of blame for what other women do with their bodies. Isn't it my body, my choice? So if it's your body, check. Your choice, check. Then why aren't the responsibilities yours? If you do a crime, you have to be held accountable. Like you can't say someone else did the crime for you. So why is the media slamming this narrative that somehow men are to blame for what happened to Lily Phillips? Yes, there is clearly something wrong with this girl, or maybe she just freaking likes it. You know what I'm saying? We're in the age of social media where women have the ability to be on camera and make money by doing various acts. So who's to say that she doesn't like it? She's even going even further into her career to try to make a video about her gangbanging, her getting gangbanged by 1,000 men. So clearly she likes it. Clearly she has an affinity for wanting to get gangbanged and perform sexual acts on camera for money. And there's no wrong with that. Again, I wouldn't let my daughter do it. And I'm sure a lot of y'all wouldn't let y'all daughters do that. But, if someone wants to perform in a capitalist system and this is the route they want to go in, who am I to say they're wrong in doing it? I mean, I'm no judge of character. I mean, shit. I just hope... I just hope she gets her money and gets out as fast as she can before she winds up like a lot of these sex workers do, end up on drugs, strung out, unable to find true happiness because of what they did, in their career, and by more extreme means, by suicide or something like that. I hope she finds the help that she needs, that she wants or whatever, and she gets out of this industry and find true happiness, because there isn't true happiness in that, bro. That's just lust behavior. Like, that's just lustful behavior, wanting the desire to get banged by that many men. Like, I don't understand it. And then you want to blame the consumer for buying into the product. That's just so insane. Like, that makes people not want to do it by you doing that. But hey, man, if she's willing to go through all that, direct it, produce it, and execute it, and then even go as far to say she wants to gang bang 1,000 men and cry about it on camera, then that's her business. But smart people know why she's doing it. Y'all know why she's doing this. Y'all know why she's doing it. She's crying after the fact to set herself up for the future. That's all she's doing. She's setting herself up for the future, because when all's said and done and that well dries up, you know what I'm saying, and the money gets dry because younger, more hotter talent comes in, you're going to have an out, and you're going to get a podcast, and you're going to go over all your experiences and your traumas and all that shit and make people feel bad for you. And then you're just going to, and then the cycle just continues, man. But we as the consumer, bro, hey, man, I'm not telling people to spend their money on this and that. But at the same time, bro, like, you can't let people shame you into what you're buying, man. Make Lily Phillips accountable for wanting to put her body on the line on camera for money. Hey, what's up, Navy? Hey, man. So, hey, man, but y'all got to start like making these people accountable. Stop having them blame the consumer for everything. The consumers run this economy. You, Navy, Triran, all of us run the economy, man. Because we are the consumers. We are 85% of the economy. This is a consumer-based economy, and you cannot shame the consumer. It should be illegal to shame the consumer. You should shame the producer, aka Lily Phillips, because she's the one that's wanting to get gangbanged by 100 men for clout, because she wants to be on camera and make some quick money. And again, shout out to her, man. That's her right in a capitalist economy. It is what it is, man. I mean, if you were a woman like in her position and you knew that you can make money by doing that, man, like, what would you do? So, I mean, whether she's wrong or not, it is what it is at the end of the day, man. And we just gotta, make sure she's not spreading a false narrative that somehow men, the consumer, are responsible for her wanting to get in the bed and get touched on by strange men. But we got more content on the way, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in. Remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Man, I just had to come talk about this with you guys. And I'm going to break more of this down like in a video showing all the pundits who are trying to shame men. And y'all like, subscribe on that, man. And like, leave your thoughts and love in the comments, man. And until next time, boy, your boy's out here.